Hello, beautiful. Welcome to the second December group coaching meeting. It is December 21st here, 9 a.m. in Hawaii. I hope you're well. As you guys know, we have completely shifted in community aspect and where we're going to hook up. I am completely ditching Facebook and Instagram for lives and for the community feel and moving it all into one space within Kajabi. So I'm going to be recording here on Zoom, which also allows me to actually interact with you guys either face to face or via like audio if you don't want to show your face on screen, which I feel is just like a much better vibe. I know you can kind of do that with an Instagram, and I don't know if you can do that in Facebook. But my heart has kind of always been away from those social media aspects. As you know, if you're in that part of the course, I actually advise you to really delete as much as you can off of social media and take steps back from social media. I really do believe that it does impact a lot of areas in our lives, or it can do. For me, it has. So in good ways and bad ways. But yeah, so we're moving all community area into one space here on Kajabi and on Zoom for our lives. And I think I'm just going to be able to better serve you guys and give you more tips and information in one space. And yeah, like I said, hopefully when we find a good time for everyone to come together live, we can see each other face to face, or I can hear your beautiful voice. So that is the announcement we need to take care of before we get started. So it's Christmas time, and I know sometimes this can be a really hard time during infertility because of, sometimes the magic that children bring to holidays is maybe going to be missing in your household, or within your heart. My best advice for surviving the holidays is really depending on where you're at in your stage of mental health, like mental well-being and wellness. I know for my first quite a few years, I just enjoyed the holidays. I mean, my first few years, I suppose I didn't really know I had such a big issue. And the holidays, I just got through them like normal. And I think especially after the first failed IVF, it was a time of drowning my sorrows. And I mean, heavily in liquor. Um, well, actually, before my first IVF, I had one Christmas that my two best friends, so maybe it was the second Christmas that we were dealing with infertility. They were both about to have their babies, and we were up in North Scotland with none of our family around, and our friends were really our family. But I just mentally was not in a place that I could be there. And I never told anyone that. I never told my husband that's why I wanted to leave. And I never told anyone else. I've said it within the community, but like not during the time. And yeah, got very, very drunk on a snowboard trip over in Colorado, which was exactly what I needed to be doing at the time. Was it healthy? Was it going to improve my fertility? Oh, absolutely not. It probably set me back a few months in healing wise, but I just wasn't even there yet. Um, Later on in the years, after I kind of gained a bit of awareness about health and wellness, I definitely dialed it back, but always took the time to just enjoy myself and enjoy who I was around. Obviously, enjoy my husband. We have been very, very fortunate to be able to spend every Christmas together, considering he was in the Royal Air Force for 16 years. And he is an airline pilot now. And so, yeah, we've been really, really fortunate. So I've always really held that close in gratitude that I've always had him around during the holidays. So there might be someone special in your life that you can just really feel your heart and be grateful that you're able to see them. Maybe even after years of COVID, you're able to touch them and be in the same physical space as them. So really bring that on to your holidays now. And in regards to your diet and drinking, I really feel like you just have to do the best you can. So if you're in a mental state where you are like, I'm 100% in right now, and you are going to stay away from the things that you know aren't serving you at the moment, then do it. Like, who cares what Aunt Betty thinks? If you're not there yet, if you're just like, I just need a break of, being, hyper focused on what I'm eating and what I'm drinking, then let yourself do it. Remember, it's always about consistency and not perfection. So just take this time during the holidays to enjoy yourself, give yourself a little bit of a break. And then after, you just get back to being consistent with what you're implementing during your journey right now. So I hope that helps. I hope if you have like any worries, I know I've had a few discovery calls with clients and they're like, I do not want to start right now. I'm like, I would not recommend it. This is not the time to really embrace new habits, especially when there's so much temptation around. Our willpower is finite and it takes us a really long time sometimes to get to a space where we can really feel confident, like, no, I don't want to have that. I don't want to do that. I know because I'm now 7-8 years into kind of like my autoimmune paleo journey. And yeah, I still fall short all the time. And then I feel my health kind of wane. I'm like, all right, I need to get back on the horse. So don't beat yourself up, enjoy your time. And maybe, I know a lot of times when my clients say that they like went on holiday and they didn't have access to the food that they wanted, so they just had to eat what was there, and then they felt like crap. They just kind of, it reinforced for them, like, okay, I know I'm doing the right things for my body because I've seen the dramatic effects that food can have on my body just in a short period of time. And so remember, when we're doing this, it's not long, I don't want to say long, but it's going to take a little while for the fertility part to really be boosted. We really need to lower that inflammation first and heal certain areas, and then it trickles down into your fertility, especially your eggs. Remember, it takes minimum 3 months because that's how long an egg takes to mature. So I have actually been diving deep into cellular health, and I've done a little bit of an Instagram post for you guys in the new year. You guys will see it here in the community before it goes live. And I want to just talk a little bit about that here. I don't feel like, I don't want to convince anyone of anything, but one of my big missions here in Finding Fertility is changing the narrative that you can't improve your egg quality. It's still a really big myth out there, and a lot of doctors still think it. I've seen a lot of big Instagram accounts still pushing out like, you can't do it. So my main thing is like, this knowledge is so powerful for anyone dealing with any type of fertility issue, whether you do absolutely 100% need medical assistance or you want to do things naturally. Like, no matter where you are in that spectrum, or no matter what your issues are, whether they are like set in stone and you really can't change them, like you don't have fallopian tubes. I can't, no functional medicine person can grow back fallopian tubes, or you have a block tube, or things like that. If you are dealing with your own eggs, and this is the same with sperm, but if you are doing treatment with your own eggs, or you're trying naturally with your own eggs, that's the only way you can do it, really. You have the power to increase that egg quality, and that is when we talk about motherhood, and before you even step into the realm of being a mom, you have so much control over how your cells are expressing, and therefore how your children's cells are going to express, and how their genes are going to be kind of wired together. Obviously, nothing's set in stone, but when you become a mother, we hear all these things of like, you want the best health for your child, you want the organic clothes or the organic food, or you want to do all these things like once the baby's there. But you can really be doing probably a lot more, I would say, in the beginning, like before they're even created, for them to really help set them up for long-term successful health, not only as a baby, but an infant, going on to all the way until their old age. This is really like something that is so not tangible, because it literally started in your grandmother's womb. So for you, you are already, let's see, you are already carrying. So if you get pregnant with your daughter, you are carrying your granddaughter inside there. It's like a mind trip to think. So with cellular health, your egg inside you is one of the biggest cells within your body. And I'm just kind of mind blown the more I read about it, of like how we ever even got to the place where you couldn't do anything to increase the health of that cell, considering that we watch our bones like mend themselves. We watch our skin heal ourselves, or heal itself after a big sunburn. We watch our hair regrow, or our nails regrow. I know not so much the teeth isn't like in the media spotlight, but your teeth are the same. Like, you can get a cavity and you can heal that cavity. So everything is repairing itself. It's constantly trying to be in a state of homeostasis. And depending on your environment, which is your diet and your lifestyle, your sleep, your environmental toxins, all those things combined, your cells are expressing towards all of that. So yeah, there's certain genes that your genetics that you can't necessarily physically change, right? Like, I can't take a certain supplement and make my eyes go brown. They're forever blue, right? I'm most likely forever going to have brunette hair until I go gray. So my height was determined there much, right? Like, no matter how well I ate, I was never going to be 7 foot tall. I was always going to be in the realm of what my genes were expressing. So there's definitely things that you can't control. But what science says is that your genes are inside your cell. So you got to think of your cells as the pot. Okay. And your genes are going to be the flower or the tree, whatever is going to grow out of this pot. So if you have a pot that you don't take care of, yeah, the chances are your flower is gonna grow, right? But it might not be super strong, or it might not blossom the way it should blossom, or it might not continue to sprout new seeds to continue on, depending on what type of seed is in there too, which everyone is different, right? They need different things for their cells to help nurture and give those genes what they need, so those genes can express themselves in the best way possible. So when you are giving your pot the right amount of nutrients, sunlight, rest, all those different things, your seed inside of there is going to be able to express itself in the best way possible, whatever that looks like for that seed. And those are your genes. Your genes want to express themselves the best way they can, but they need that help from the cell. The cell is your life, right? Like, if your cells are shit, your life is going to be shit. Not because your genes are shit, it's just because they're expressing themselves the best way they possibly can, because that's the only nutrients it's getting. So it's super complex, but at the same time, I think if like we dumb it down to like the basics, like it's really simple. So I think the complex part is finding what you need, like where things in your body maybe have been disconnected or aren't getting the right things, and then bringing those in and helping those cells really be vibrant and loving life. And then your genes can express in different ways too. So going back to your egg quality, your egg is a single cell with a nucleus inside of it. And we are carrying those inside of us. So whatever is going on inside of us can trickle down to your ovaries and the eggs inside of there. It's not a separate being. Like you can't think of it as like, oh, well, that's the below region, that's the Netherlands, right? Like my stomach and my food and my diet and my stress, like that doesn't affect down there. It's all connected. We're all one. And the way our genes, us women being the ones dealing with infertility, are expressing, we might be considered a little bit lucky on that sense because we can do it, things to improve ourselves and therefore improve our children's lives potentially. And so I hope that makes sense. My Instagram post or my post I'll put up in the community might be a little bit more. There's lots of different slides and graphs and stuff for you guys to check out. But just know that everything you're doing within the formula is really important to, they're all building blocks together. Now, some people can literally just change a little bit of their diet and that boosts up their cells enough and lowers their inflammation enough. Some people can just do mindset stuff. Some people need the whole shebang. There might be missing pieces of your sleep for everyone. And I truly, truly believe this. Gut health is just like one of the main things to improve on. And your diet and your stress are two big components of maintaining a high gut level. Also, I feel like I'm going to say this and it's going to be on my gravestone: variety in your diet. Remember, that is a really big key to keeping your keystone species loving life. And when they're loving life, all the other functions with inside your gut will be able to work in harmony with all your hormones and your stress level and your vagus nerve, Vegas, Vega nerve. So keep going. I know that it's a lot of information within the course, but it's all really necessary. You don't have to be doing it all perfectly, but you can really be taking out the big key highlights that you're like, okay, I don't do that at all, so I'm going to bring this into my life. I don't do that, I'm going to bring this. Actually, I'm really good at that, so I can skip that. It's not, like I say, about perfection. It's about consistency and just finding the areas in your life and building on top of that. The course is over 10 weeks. Did I do this in 10 weeks? No, like not even close. I didn't have an amazing course like this to get me on the right path. But don't beat yourself up if you're like, oh my God, I haven't done everything within the 10 weeks. Really take thorough notes if you decide to leave the course, if you haven't bought it at full price and have it for, I don't know if I put a limit on it, for life or until you've reached your ultimate goal, or if you're in the monthly community. If you feel like, okay, I'm going to leave, just make sure you take those notes, print out those PDFs, have those as guides. So you remember, okay, I haven't done that, but this is something that I do want to bring into my life later on, and slowly build from there. These are forever life-changing habits, right? My aim for you guys is really not, yes, to get you pregnant and to stay pregnant, but also to make you healthier mamas so you can provide for your children for the next generation, because it's going to be super important, right? We want the best for our children. So yes, okay. I hope that helps you guys move into the Christmas time and just really get you excited for the new year. I'm super excited for 2022, and please keep in touch. If you guys have any questions, reach out within the community. I'm there to support and guide you. I truly feel the more you guys utilize that community area, the more you get out of the course. I mean, I do think the course is amazing, but obviously having guidance and support through this is equally as important of knowing gaining the knowledge and implementing it. So have a wonderful Christmas, and I will probably see you within the community for the new year, but happy new year as well. Bye.